Okay, we're live, I do believe. Flowerbugs Ink Spot. This is Stamp With Me Monday nights. We're making these really neat pinwheel cards. They're super fun. Punch art. Some of you remember punch art. I used to do a lot of it when I first started stamping. That was kind of one of the things I was known for when I first began. So it's kind of neat to get back to it now and then. It got a little bit... I don't know, we don't have as many punches as we used to have. So I don't know why I'm not into it as much as I used to be, but when I do it, I love it. So I saw a card, it wasn't even by Stampin' Up, but years and years ago. In fact, it's my very first pin on my Pinterest board. It was, and so that is on my Pinterest board, on my special Pinterest board, I guess you'd say, is this picture of something like this. So good, hello everybody, good evening. So who's stamping with me tonight? Who has actually got some pieces prepared and ready to put them together? Let me know if you're stamping. And if you're not, you can stamp anytime this week, or anytime actually, but I did give measurements and everything on my Facebook page. So when I give you the tips and hints to get ready for tonight. So yeah, I will post a make a share post in a little bit where you can share what you have made if you are stamping with me tonight. So that's the purpose of my Stamp With Me live on Monday nights, is so you can stamp right along with me. Awesome, Annette, you're assembling. Great. Okay, you must have stamped some of your pieces already, maybe. Okay, so these pieces right here are actually 1 1/4 inches and cut in half. So I used, you might be surprised, some of you may be wondering, where did you get this paper? It is current. It is in the spring catalog, the January through June catalog, but it's not designer paper. It is the, let's see, what are they called? The Sweet Little Valentine Cards and More on page 16 of the catalog. So, of the January through June catalog. So, let me show you. They are Valentine cards. Who would have known, right? Because they don't look like Valentine cards. But they have little card fronts. I did not use those. I used the actual cards. See that right there? And this is another one right there. So I cut up one of each of these cards and then cut them into 1 1/4 inch squares. So, all right, let's get started on how you do this. All right, I'll move some of my supplies out of here. So I'm going to make a card like this later, and this one right now, probably. Okay. All right, so I'm playing with new in colors. I couldn't resist. I got my designer paper in from the new catalog, upcoming catalog. Demonstrators got to order it early. So I cut 1 1/4 inch strips from my 6-inch paper. Okay, now that's probably if you have this type of paper trimmer, that's the easiest way to start, is to start with 1 1/4 inch strips. Then you can cut these down. Okay, my paper. So if you're not sure what 1 1/4 is, you might need to take a little video or something, but each larger notch on these, between 1 and 2, the half of that is 1 1/2. So between 1 1/2 and 1 is 1 1/4. So you can do it that way, but I actually prefer to do it this way. Here's another 1 inch, and right here is 1 1/4. The reason is I can hold here, and so that gives me that 1 1/4 inch square, and I have something to hold on. If I do it this way, I mean, it depends on if you're right or left-handed. You can still hold on this side. I guess it really does not matter, as long as you have a way to hold it in perfect placement, so you get your 1 1/4 inch squares. All right, so hopefully some of you have those already done. And use this as your base when you're cutting these squares. It really makes it easier to do that when you use your edge to make sure it's really nice and flat. Okay, so now, depending on what type of corner rounder you have, this is the corner rounder we have that is current. There we had some smaller ones. You probably have something way different, but this is the only one we have that's current. And it's a little bit tricky to get this in here because it is so, so small. So let me find, I guess I'll have a tweezer here, where I can make sure that is in the corner before I punch. Okay, so then I got one corner punched. Now I'm going in the opposite corner to do the other side. So you just have to make sure that's really in there depending on what kind of corner rounder you're using. And that's not going to do it for me. I want to make sure it's really in there, because otherwise you can get a notch on your punch. So this takes a little bit of time because we're using such tiny little pieces. So like I said, if you have a corner rounder that's a little bit not so bulky as this one, you'll have an easier time than I'm having here. Just really important to get that in to the corner so you have these nice perfect rounded edge. So I should have done a couple of these ahead of time so you wouldn't have to watch me do all this. And I did do the other card already, so you won't have to watch me do all of them. So let me know what paper you're using. And again, I'll post something in a little bit with a new post so you can share what you've done. Yes, you could do a Post-it note. You're right, Catherine. That would be probably a great idea. I've had really good luck. I haven't had any, knock on wood, that had bad corners. I don't know if I just got lucky or if I was careful. Okay, now what you want to do, and this is where it can get a little tricky because these are so small and your paper trimmer, you really can't hold on to this in any way. You just have to make sure your tips are in the grooves. And you know, if I was doing this more expediently, I could do maybe a few of them. You think I dare take a chance? These are actually really pretty shapes, aren't they? Right here. I think that's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna take a chance and do them all. All right, I did it. Okay, so now we have all of our pieces. I had 4 colors, and yeah, that's right. Sticky note, sometimes I use sometimes a reacher tool, and you could use, or what I call a reacher piece of cardstock. If I just have a scrap beside me and no sticky note, I'll put a little adhesive on that and then glue that to there. Same thing as a sticky note, but I'm sometimes too lazy to get up and find a sticky note. Okay, so now we're going to make a mark. And we are going to use a ruler, and I should probably use the inches and so I can maybe find my center. So this is 5 1/4. This piece right here is 3 3/4 inch square. Sorry about that. I was in the directions of my post when I gave you measurements to get ready for this. So I'm at 5 1/4. So now I'm going to make a mark at 2 3/4. Okay. And that should be center. We'll just double check it with the other one. And not quite. For some reason, not quite center. I get 2 5/8. Isn't that weird? Do you think I'm off on my measurements? Well, let's try this way. So that's 1 7/8. And so I think this is more center. We're going to erase. And of course I have the worst eraser, but we'll make sure because it gets covered up. So I don't mind making a nice big mark with my pencil. All right, so now this is where you may want to have some grid paper on hand. I need to turn this just so I see what I did. I want to do the same thing. All right, so you will add adhesive, whatever adhesive you want. I prefer the liquid Tombow because it does move for me. So now I'm going to line up my grid paper. I guess it would, I'm a good eyeballer. If you are not, you may want to just get your ruler out again and it's between 1 3/4 and 1 7/8 is the center of that. So then you're just going to, and these are placed very close. And you know, if you're beginning and you're nervous, go ahead and just put a tiny little bit of some adhesive and just place it on there, but don't secure it. Don't secure it. Just do a little bit at a time. Let's see what color. I think I'll do this one. Okay, so this is, and then what you can do when you're happy, then you can press it down or add more. Okay, so this is just how you do. You always put the flat edge against the curved edge. You see that? It's very, very simple once you get going. Let's see. And you just want to be sure this last piece is straight. And in that way, you may want to get your ruler out. And then this one should touch the edge almost again. Okay, so now because I have those, I'm going to add, excuse me, add my permanent glue because I'm pretty happy with the placement here. And then you just want to continue. So next would be the papaya. So soft succulent, pale papaya, pink, polished pink, and fresh freesia. Those are our new in colors. And just so you know, I always do for my local gals an in color special every new catalog. So, but I am offering it. I did this last year and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to offer it to my long distance gals as well. So my open house, my new catalog open house is next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow. And I'll be sharing the in color special tomorrow on my blog and on Facebook. So there's 1 week to get in on the in color special. And basically what it is you get free markers when you take advantage of my in color special. Isn't that pretty? Just love it. Okay, so you can do one of two things. You see these cards here. I did it 2 different ways. One, I placed on a 4" by 5 1/4" piece of cardstock. And the other one, I decided to do diagonally. And it almost fits the entire card this way. So how you figure that out, and this card is 4 1/4. So at the 2 1/8" area, you will put a little pencil mark, and you will hopefully have a better eraser than I do, so you can erase it when you're done. I'll have to get a nice eraser later. So all you do then is, right now I want to decide, well, which pattern do I want north and south? And I think I want it like that. Okay, so we're gonna go like that. Hopefully I didn't go outside the lines too much, and find my little notches or little pencil marks and make that square. So I think what I will do though, because I didn't press these down very well, is add just a little more adhesive on some of these tips. I'm adding way too much glue so they glue down well. I don't know which ones were temporary and which ones weren't. There we go, this one is. So we don't want them to slide. Okay, so now that that is semi-dry, we will just turn this over and trim off the excess. So this card base is the Evening Evergreen. So that's not much to trim off. So that's a 3 3/4" square. Maybe just slightly shy of that. Okay, so I have to decide which color. I think I like this one. I'm going to stamp on. All right, so what I'm using for my stamping, these 2 greetings here, is the Pansy Patch. This is a new stamp set, and it'll be out in 1 week from tomorrow that everybody can order it if you're not a demonstrator. Demonstrators could pre-order this. So I really like this greeting that says a little hello from me to you. And wouldn't you know, I did not bring my ink over. Just a minute. I was taking some pictures earlier of my in color products and I moved everything. Okay, I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen and stamp right on the skinny little strip. And I did not measure this strip. I just had a scrap and I cut it thin, and that's a little crooked. Let's see how many times I have to do this to get it straight. Oh yeah, that's really crooked. Okay, third time's the charm? Maybe the stamp is crooked. Do you think I can blame it on the stamp? Okay, I'm happy with that. It's very close because of the curves, the little, the Y and the H are kind of high. Okay, so then what you can do, you can either cut them at the angle, and I kind of like that just because it's easy. Do you ever do that? Just cut at an angle. Make sure once you cut one, you just make sure you're cutting the other one at the same direction. Okay. All right, and it looks like I didn't bring my mini dimensionals over, so I'm going to just cut two edges, put those on the back. And then put those, and I thought about doing it diagonally. Maybe I will do this one diagonal and see what we think. A little bit over to the left. Trying to get it centered on the card, but of course my fingers are in the way. Okay, so what I did for the center here was I cut out some of these, I don't know what you'd even call these, little starburst, little gears. They are from the Dandy Wishes dies, and I actually don't have them in here, but they're two more smaller than this one. So there's actually 4 of those in concentric sizes. So it's a really neat set of dies. They are coming back. Hello, Jewel. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, these dies are coming back in the next catalog. Okay, so we'll finish this off by placing this one in the center. And then this one, I want to raise up. I wish I had my mini dimensionals with me, but I'll use, and that's not going to be quite small enough. Okay, I want this to have some dimension. Just kind of going to curl those up with my fingers. Is that centered? Okay. All right, so next we will add one of these gorgeous gems. These are the new in color gems that are in the new catalog. So I think I'll add, I'm thinking peach because I added peach here. Let's see. See what we think. It's a little small, but this is very, oh, did anybody else notice that I'm upside down? Anybody else? Did you know that the card opens this way? Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, all right. Yeah, I can't work upside down very readily. Okay, now it's right. Isn't that pretty? Our in colors are absolutely gorgeous. They're my favorite in a long time. Okay, so that's the diagonal card. Now I'm gonna do this card, and it's a little bit different, and show you some of the tips on that one. Okay, so I changed the color up, but I'm still gonna do a rainbow. And you might wonder where the paper came from. It is our Brights, designer paper in the annual catalog. And it's retiring, but we will get a different set of patterns. So I cut the 1 1/4 inch squares, and then I rounded them and textured, and I didn't mention the texture here. This texture is the Tasteful Textile. Let me show you the two here, the difference. So this is Tasteful Textile. Let's see if you can see that texture. And this one is Dainty Diamonds. How am I doing on texture? It's really hard for me to see if you can see that texture. So Dainty Diamonds is retiring and the Tasteful Textile is not. That is coming back, but this one is not. And I love it because it's such a, I don't know, soft. It's just, it's not busy. It's just kind of there, just that background. Okay, so this one is done and I'm going to stamp on this. And this is this is actually a retired circle punch. This is 1 3/4 inches, and I use my circle punches. It's probably one of the only things I do not get rid of. I sell or give away almost everything that retires. It's just what I do. I don't have room in my studio to store things, so but circle punches, that's one of the things that I just can't seem to get rid of. Just and we retired all of our circle punches. Did you know that? Every one of them retired. It's really sad. So I will probably continue to use them just because they're just so easy. You know, circle punches are just easy. So I think this, I'm going to do a line this time. And then when it crosses, that's my center. Okay. That is my center. All right, so start straight again, because then you can use either your grid paper or make another idea would be to make another mark at the halfway point, and then you know you're straight. So if you have trouble getting things straight, just make another little pencil mark and just make sure you have a good eraser for you to to fix that later. I have a pretty good eye for straight, so I don't worry about it too much. And you know, I just don't stress about things being too straight. Now what I want to do is make sure that my rainbow colors are in order. So that was Pacific Point. This is Bermuda Bay. Then I'm going to do green, Granny Apple Green. And you can just choose your own rainbow colors. Maybe you have pastels, then y'all do yellow. Maybe you have regals. You can do your own little array of colors. Now what I want to do here is just make sure that I'm still fairly straight across. All right, orange is next, or pumpkin. Yeah, the color, you know, our colors are just so fun to play with. I'm just, that's what keeps me going here in Stampin' Up! Is the people and our beautiful products, but the colors are the best. I have everything that matches. How many of you only buy Stampin' Up! So everything matches? We call it matchy-matchy at my house, at my studio. Many of us are extremely matchy-matchy. We only, for the most part, use Stampin' Up! Products because everything matches and coordinates and you don't have to worry about it, about things not matching. That's how I started out, was with just basic scrapbooking and buying stickers and designer paper, and pretty soon I found myself like nothing matches. So yeah, it just got to be, once I found Stampin' Up!, that was it. I did not go any further, and I stopped buying anything else. For a while, I tried to buy other things. Oh, this one I didn't pop up, did I? And I just got too frustrated. It just, nothing matched. So I just stopped. So now I don't waste my money. Don't waste anything except on Stampin' Up! Okay, so these are the Playing with Patterns resin dots. And the daffodil matches the card base that I chose. So I'm using that for my center. And you can just lift that up. I'm sure if you don't have a little cog kind of die cut like I've got here, you could use a flower. You could use a button. Remember buttons that we used to use all the time? Yeah, you can do any of that. It's just fine. Okay, so to put this one together, yeah, I know, it's so fun. Okay, now I want to decide what's on top. I think I'll do the bright. I think I'll do the bright on top. Okay, just put that up there. Like I said, this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to trim this off because I already glued that, and kind of glue this down here. Just testing it for now. And I have the daffodil ribbon, and this is the ruched ribbon, and it's only $3 right now. I think it's still there. I guess I'm not positive. So here's what how I do my ribbon. It's on the spool. I'm just going to cut off, leaving a ½ inch extra. Then I'm going to add another piece that's going to be the tie. So I tell people how to do this in my directions on my tutorials too, is so I put the short piece under the long piece. Then you just wrap the short piece around the long piece and tie. Now turn it over. So that's the ugly side, right? So that's the side with the knot. That's always what ends up being on top if you don't do it this way. But now I can turn it over, and then this knot, and you can usually manipulate your ends a little bit. This knot slides from one side to the other, so you can place it wherever you want. Okay, so I'm going to place it right above the happy birthday, and we will just add this. And normally I would pop this up, but because I didn't pop up the other part, I'm not going to pop this up. Okay, so now what I like to do for ribbon is either glue dots or just run your tape runner along the edge, and then hang on, I'm going to just lightly tack that. No, it's almost right. And then just place that where I want it, bend that over, and press this on it. And that's why I run the tape runner this way, so it's going to catch wherever that ribbon goes. And now I can just move that knot wherever I want, and then do a little trimming. So who's all making cards tonight? I saw that Annette was. I can't remember if I saw that anyone else is. Okay, we're doing a daffodil card base. And then we're done. Well, 2 cards. I only made 2 cards tonight, but I have one more to show you that I made with the well-suited paper. Oh, this one's pretty. I like yellow and purple together. Just bright and happy. All right. Look at those. Aren't they beautiful? I have to say so myself. Okay. So I do like the diagonal, even though they're not layered. These are layered, but I love the rainbow too. I think they're really fun. Okay, you Stampin' Up! Only for you too, Deb? Awesome. So Julie, you probably came in late. What I did, let's see if I have a sample here. I cut my pieces into squares. So it's much easier when you're cutting them. If you start with a long piece, then you can hold on to them easier. So now that you have a square, you do the corner rounders and then you cut them in half. So let's see if I have any pieces that actually match. Yeah, so there's your square, but you round your corners first because it's so much easier to manipulate and hold them in your corner rounder with a large piece instead of a small piece. Now you could do any size. These are 1 1/4 inch. Remember that. 1 1/4 inch. I don't know if you could get too much bigger and fit on a card, but I think you could definitely go smaller. So you could, I was tempted to try just a 1 inch, but I didn't try that yet. So I think that would work really well as well. So, all right, there you go. And maybe you can come up with another way to do this card. I thought that this would also be a neat way to do it, and then have your greeting here, maybe a circle, a full circle instead of so yeah, I don't have one here, but a full circle greeting, or this way, but I tend to have things on the left when I'm doing them. So this would be another great way for positioning. All right. Okay, don't forget to make one of these cards. Oh, the square paper, Connie, is 3 3/4 is the white. Okay, the small squares are 1 1/4 before you round each corner. Opposite corners, then you cut down the middle, right? So there's your square. Round the corners opposite and then cut down the center of the tip to tip. All right? Okay, gosh, we've made it in a half an hour and we're done. So let me see what you guys make. I'd love to have you share on the Flower Bugs ink spot or the Stamp and Share. And you know I have two different groups. One is a page. My Flower Bugs ink spot is my business page where I post most things, but the Flower Bugs Stamp and Share group is where everybody can share. You can all share your projects there. And it's a great way to see and share what you've been doing, and we can all compliment and see and get ideas from each other. Okay, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Central Time is the next Facebook Live, and I've got some awesome projects using new in colors. So all new things tomorrow at 11 Central Time. Oh, I forgot to show you this one. Almost forgot. So here's a card I made with the well-suited designer paper, and same pattern. I think this is like a poppy color with navy and smoky slate. So that's a masculine card. I think that's a great masculine card that you could do. It doesn't have to be feminine, and even the rainbow cards could be masculine or kids. Okay, all right. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate you stopping in and watching and joining. And hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow, too. All right, have a good night. Bye-bye.